Unlock the door, bitch. I'm on my way, and I got chicken strips.
I don't know why they call them chasers. It's not like Chubs can run real fast.
Double vodka with hot brownie chasers.
She just wanted to watch me eat it. Naked.
I can't say that. That's dirty.
Chasers will do anything to get into your pants. I love them.
Stop it! Stop!
Oh,
God. Chubs Gone Wild.
Well, hello and welcome to another Chubs Gone Wild. It is a beautiful autumn out. It is just a few days till Halloween and a few days till something else is going on, but I don't remember what it was.
I'm not going to pander to you. I'll tell you that right
Oh,
now.
it's Dia de Muerto. I knew I was gonna mess it up. Yeah.
Okay, I thought you were pushing it. It's your birthday.
Oh, that's what it was. I forgot about that. But it's nice of you to bring that up. Thank you. But yeah, the day of the 2 days of the dead. I don't know why they call it the Day of the Dead when it's 2 days, but anyway.
Well, they're saying that it's actually the second, not the first.
Yeah. Well,
I always thought it was the first. Then they said, no, it's the first, the second, and then it's like, well, how can that be Day of the Dead when there's 2 days? And I'm thinking, I think what it must be is it must be sundown to sunrise, the first to the second.
Right. That's
what I'm thinking.
Yeah. Because I always thought it was the second, and then I kept hearing the first and the second, and okay, I don't know. And I suppose I could look it up, but I've got a show to do. Anyway, welcome to Chubs Gone Wild episode 565. It is Monday, October 28th, 2024. It's 68 degrees and sunny outside in Chubland today, which is just lovely. It's also 3 days till Halloween, 31 days till Thanksgiving, and 58 days until Christmas.
Oh, by the way, I did want to mention that stores are starting to sell marigolds.
Oh,
because of Coco. And the whole Day of the Dead thing is you're supposed to lay down the petals from the marigolds as like a walkway for the dead to come in, or a pathway. So I just thought it was real interesting because Costco had it, Safeway had it, and another store. I can't think of which store, but I saw it at another store, and I'm like, well, that's nice.
Yeah. It's interesting because we're so weird culturally here in America. And then it took Cocoa and maybe a couple other little things around that to make consumerism finally realize, hey, let's capitalize off of this. But then it creates more awareness in the general community and stuff, and more people start, taking on these sweet traditions. Although one thing that does get to me sometimes is the stores like CVS and such, their Halloween decorations are like 50% or more for the Day of the Dead. Like the skulls and the fancy decorated things like that. And it's like, okay, Halloween, this is Halloween. This is a different cultural thing that is not supposed to be scary and everything, and you're mixing the two together. Like, don't get that.
And I'm surprised we don't see more skipping Halloween and going straight to the Day of the Dead parties. Especially this year when it actually falls on a Saturday or a Friday and a Saturday.
That's true. And so, Halloween is what?
Thursday.
Thursday, yeah.
And your birthday is a Wednesday.
I know. And so of course I get the friends who are all like, we couldn't possibly do anything on it. But although I did find out that the main reason was that he will be traveling that day. So anyway. All right, well, let's take a moment to center and reflect on some positive vibes here. Today's affirmation: I process all new experiences easily and incorporate them into my life with joy.
Who's Joy?
I don't know. I mean, there's joy on the Good Witch, but anyway, that's fine. All right. Well, Patreon offers folks a way to support creators and receive rewards not open to the general public, like special podcasts, videos, books, and a lot more. And we want to thank our current patrons: Clint, Nephi, Nick, DJ, Stasage from the Universe, Eric, Sean, Charles, Phoenix Dave, Brothers Natus, Kingsley, Kathy Bacon, and Moose P. Please visit patreon.com/Matt Burlingame, where you can be supporters of our projects for as little as $1 a month. I don't know. I just went with
Did you see Elon Musk is still trying to push that jumping jacks thing where he jumps in the air? And for those of you that don't know what he's doing, he's trying to make an X because of Twitter or X. So he's jumping. It's like, I'm thinking this poor kid must have been a very lonely child because, I don't know. Part of me just feels really bad for him that he's not funny.
Mm-hmm.
He's not, I mean, he's a genius. And I think that the things that him and his company have created is amazing, but Jesus, what a
I don't know.
dick.
I guess it just is a very different way that you look at things when the way that you're brought up. Because for me, I'm like, you have enough money that you could like solve world hunger and like unhoused situations all over the world. You could do so much that would just make you such a revered person, and you choose to do this. I don't understand.
Well, and how the Starlight or Starlink was supposed to be free for everybody.
Yeah.
And now it's like he cuts it off in Ukraine because he's, fucking around with Putin now. But he thinks that's a kind of, I look what I can do. I can cut off all their internet, and so they're basically, blind and of what's going on. Just dick moves. And of course, the only reason he's supporting Trump is because Trump's going to give him an open door to do whatever he wants with SpaceX. He wants to go to Mars. It's like, can't we just get him as a sponsor for our show? That'd be good.
I don't think we would do a service.
Well, no, but we could, take $1 million for Patreon. Well, we'll look into that. Yeah. Even though he's a dick. Okay. Yeah. Tell us about history. What do you know about history?
Well, use it, you lose it. So anyway, all right, history. Well, the Statue of Liberty, a gift from France to the U.S., was designed by sculptor Frederick Auguste Bartholdi. Yeah, him. And commemorates the Franco-American alliance during the American Revolution, standing 151 feet tall. One moment, please. So standing 151 feet tall, the statue was completed in 1884 and transported to New York in 1885 in over 200 crates. Its pedestal was built on Bedloe's Island, and the statue was dedicated by President Grover Cleveland on October 28th, 1886. And Gustav Eiffel, famed for the Eiffel Tower, designed its internal steel framework. So that's very cool. Anyway, well, let's see if we celebrate any holidays today.
Okay.
Checking you're there. Okay. Um, Starting with today, we honor the nation's first responders. I do. I honor you, Nephi.
And Sean.
And Sean and Clint are yeah, and
How's he a first responder?
because of the department that he works at, he ends up sometimes being deployed to like the fire rescue areas and stuff like that.
Oh,
Yeah, surprise. We also have International Animation Day. I'm animated. Chocolate Day. Not yet. Internal Medicine Day. Oh, no, thank you.
wait, is that like butt stuff?
Well, it's anything internal, but I think it's more up here, but
Yeah, I
who
know.
knows?
It's a joke. It's a joke. Go ahead.
Okay. Oh, gotcha. Okay. It's all sorry, still a little confuddled from having to deal with that. It's also Plush Animal Lovers Day. Do you love plush animals? Do you have stuffed animals?
I do.
You have your teddy bear, right?
Yes.
Yeah. I have my Snoopy. Um, and we have Separation of Church and State Day.
Yeah, for now.
Let's hope that we keep celebrating that. It's also St. Jude's Feast Day, Statue of Liberty Dedication Day.
There
Oh,
you go.
yeah, yeah. It's also Wild Foods Day. Do you have any wild foods?
No.
Yeah, can't say that I do. So we didn't do too well on that today, but I bet we do well on birthdays. Let's see. Coming up. Well, happy birthday today to Chad. Oh, Chad. All right, and happy birthday coming up to local politician Sean Frame. We've also got happy birthday to Blair, to artist Michael Kennedy, drag queen extraordinaire Misha Rockefeller. We also have happy birthday to Virat, KP, Jack, Jeff, Jean, Anthony, Dave. Oh, Dave from the theater, our little Dave. Well, he ain't so little anymore. He's a big boy. We also
He was
got,
never little.
yeah, well,
He was a man.
it was cold when anyway. That's true. He very much is.
Ew.
We've got that Whitman Tinka. Yep. And Safar, David. Oh, our Scott MC. Happy birthday, Scott. Got you coming up here. We've also got Jackie Tyro and newspaper man John Marquette. Marcotte, sorry. Um, he's a local local newspaper celebrity. Oh, and then somewhere in there, I don't know why they didn't put me in there. I'm in there somewhere. I feel left out. No. Oh. But let's move on. Not in our feedback. So let's get into some chub hugs. And I know Tom's got a few great ones this time. I think he froze.
Me?
Yeah.
I've got great ones.
Chub hug?
Yeah.
Yeah. You want to send any out?
Well, what are these two great ones that I have?
Uh-huh. You said I couldn't say that on the air.
Ew. Um, no, you go first.
All right. Well, I have some big chub hugs to send out to, well, basically anyone that needs a big
Oh
chub
God,
hug.
you're terrible.
I know.
Unprepared.
Well,
Just
how about chub hugs to Nephi, who had to see 1 to 2 shows a day, every day this week, because he is now an entertainment whore, and yeah, is so in need of that type of thing now. Yeah.
Well, I'm gonna send out a Chub Hug, but I'm not gonna tell you who the Chub Hug's to.
Okay.
But let me just say that it's going to all end with a very dry, awful apple cake. So,
Well, that's a very good, important chub hug.
yeah, it is. It is.
Yeah. And let's also send, actually, I want to send a quick chub hug out, an extra chub hug, shall we say, out to our Patreon supporters. Like, yeah, and just, they really deserve that. I've recently been even more appreciative of them for everything they do, and also to Mr. Moose, who sent me a lovely little birthday surprise. Thank you so much for that. And and Christina Hill, who sent me a Halloween card. Thank you for that. And just
Well,
lots of love.
and we just had our dear friend who keeps us busy with questions. He just had a
Timothy.
birthday. Yeah, just had a
Yes.
birthday this last week. So
Yes, he did.
yeah.
Oh, and Mr. Moose just sent in another entry into the into what's in your lunchbox, and let me tell you, this is a good one. Mm.
Yeah.
All right, but let's see what we can do to get there by moving on to the news, where the artist, oh, okay, Tourmaline, a lifelong scholar of the life of Marsha P. Johnson, is publishing a book on the queer historical icon. Marsha, the Joy and Defiance of Marsha P. Johnson, is the first full-length biography penned about her, who is most famous for her work in the queer liberation movement and presence at the Stonewall Uprising. That was
Yeah.
very awkwardly worded.
Yeah. On Big Mouth, they the character played by and I've gone blank on his name. He Torch Song Trilogy.
Harvey Weinstein, Firestein.
Harvey Firestein. He plays this gay character living in this all men's apartment complex, and he's got a show that he's been working on the life of Marsha P. Johnson, and it goes Marsha P. Johnson through the first brick, so every time I hear Marsha, well, because when we were in New York, we stopped by Stonewall, and they've got pictures of all the protesters and the people who were, basically were the heroes of that Stonewall uprising, and lots of them are with Marsha P. Johnson. So it was kind of fun.
That's very cool. Yeah. We actually in Sacramento have a
Capital.
yes, thank you. Yeah. So we have a nonprofit that helps people that is called the Marsha P. Washington or Marsha P. Johnson Building, something like that. Anyway, but yeah, that's really great. All right, now let's jump back here into, well, Donald Trump. Sadly, we have to talk about him. Hosted a rally featuring crude and racist insults at New York Madison Square Garden on Monday, turning what his campaign had dubbed as the event that he would deliver his closing message into an illustration of what turns off his critics. Speakers labeled Puerto Rico as a floating island of garbage, called Democrat Vice President Harris the devil, and said the woman vying to become the first woman and black woman president had begun her career as a prostitute. They also called her a C word, and they said something about Hillary Clinton that was like off the hook insane. Um,
Well, the clips are just awful.
they're horrible.
Well, what happened was they were some of the news stations were actually showing pictures from the 1939
Hmm.
um, Nazi event that happened in Radio City Music Hall, and then and to comparing it with Trump's, and it was just it was ugly. Well, the thing I don't understand is, okay, so they're insulting Puerto Ricans. Now, Puerto Ricans live in Pennsylvania, they live
Uh-huh.
in Florida, they
Uh-huh.
live in Arizona, they live
Hmm.
in Texas. They're all over the country, and right now they're not happy with the Republican Party for calling their home a floating what was it island of
Island
garbage.
of
Yeah,
garbage. Yep.
because the joke is because it's making you think that, oh, they're saying there's a floating pile of garbage
Yeah.
in the middle of the ocean, and you're thinking, oh, they're talking about the one that's off of South America.
Yeah.
And then he goes, oh, I think they call it Puerto Rico.
Yeah.
And it was just so a few weeks ago, he's talking about what a shithole Detroit is while he's speaking in Detroit. And then he's also bad mouthing Philadelphia as a garbage place. And
Yeah.
he just says, well, he just said the whole country is a garbage can, and
Yeah.
that every country is just sending all their garbage to America because that's smart. So we're a garbage can. Why would anybody vote for somebody who thinks, we're a garbage can?
I don't know, but apparently after his little Madison Square Garden event, he got a bump in the polls. Um,
There couldn't be a bump that fast. It happened yesterday. That's bullshit. Don't believe it.
I'm
No,
telling you
don't.
what Newsweek said.
Okay, Newsweek isn't a real. You mean Newsmax?
No, no, no. I'm talking about
Newsweek
Newsweek.
magazine?
Yeah.
How could they even?
I have no idea.
Okay,
I have no idea.
that's like
That was a
testing for a
headline that I saw
pregnancy
this
5 minutes
morning.
after conception.
Probably.
Yeah,
Um, so what was the other? And then he was making fun of a black man wearing a hat and said that that was his friend and that for Halloween they did watermelon carving. I was just I mean my jaw dropped. I
yeah.
actually started messaging our good friend Michael Sage being like, did you see this shit? Is this for real? I mean, it was just like, hey, the only things that they didn't do is have an actual swastika flag and do the arm salute. But other than that, that was the most racist pile of shit out in the
It was
open.
horrible. It was just horrible. And
Yeah,
that was just the opening comedian.
right.
The rest of these idiots that went up there were just as bad.
They were horrible. The shit that they said was, oh my gosh. Anyway, uh, that
And I'm really surprised they didn't Sieg Heil him.
I know
I really I
should
really
have.
was. I mean, they may have nobody filmed now that they would have filmed it. I
True.
still say when he turns because every rally he always turns when he gets confused and
Yeah.
says, "Oh, there's the media, the fake media." I tell you, if I were at NBC or ABC or CBS, as soon as he says that, I would turn off the cameras and pack up and leave because
Yeah.
he doesn't he wants the attention. You
Yeah.
you want to get him to stop it, leave.
Hmm.
Don't film him. Let Newsmax do it. Let Fox do it, and that's fine. And because he's not getting seen by anybody else, and that's going to piss him off.
Right. Yep.
Yeah.
It's just I am I want her to win and I want this to be
Over.
yeah. I mean not that it's going to be because you damn well know that they're going to pull every trick out of the bag they can to try to but oh God, I'm so done with all of this shit. Anyway, speaking of people that are done, let's talk about celebrity deaths.
Okay, well, Linda Orbst, the pioneer producer who put her mark in the beloved films Sleepless in Seattle, Contact, Flashdance, Fisher King, Adventures in Babysitting, How to Lose a Guy in 10 Days, and Interstellar. Died on Tuesday. She was 74. Wow. Obviously, a very wealthy woman.
And a great legacy.
Yeah. Also, Ron Ely. Ron Ely. Right? Ely?
Yes. Yeah.
Okay. Star of 1960s TV show Tarzan has died this week on Wednesday, according to his daughter. He was 86 years old. Singer Jack Jones also passed away at 86 years old this week. You know, he's won Grammys. He's a famous singer, but most people are going to know him as the singer of the Love Boat theme song. So, you know,
I'll still, my brain still randomly will just start kicking that out.
Yeah. And then David Harris, an actor in the cult classic The Warriors. He died at 75 this week. He was one of the gang members, one of the actual Warriors gang, not one of the others. And Sean, of course, played one of the baseball gang members, which was trying to kill the Warriors. And so it was he went as the purple baseball player.
Huh.
Yeah, so cool. That was fun, which is interesting that this guy dies this week. So, but that's it for our major deaths this week.
Well, that's good. Actually, that last one scared me a little bit because I have a friend named David Harris.
Oh,
and I was like, "What?" But yeah.
Now, did you have a crush on Ron Ely when you were a kid?
Well, I mean, I had stirrings, but I didn't understand them. I mean, I was still like a little, 6, 7 years old watching Tarzan on a little black and white television and just being like, I don't know why I like him so much, but Tarzan's great.
Yeah, he never did it for me. Yeah, it was weird. It was the dad on Flipper.
Oh, yeah.
And the dad on Lost in Space.
Yeah, I didn't get to watch Lost in Space much as a kid, but yeah, I can see why.
Yeah.
So. Well, and now Tom wants to talk to you about.
Oh shit! I've got to switch over now. Let's see. Okay. Let's see. Murders in the Building this week was kind of fun. What they did was it was all working around the fact that Martin Short's character Oliver knew Ron Howard, and so they needed to find out some information from Ron Howard on who the stuntman that was working on this one film was that he was directing. And so at the end we find out that that Oliver actually did know Ron Howard, because Martin Short's shtick for years has always been, even before this show, has always been, he's like, he'll be talking, he'll go, oh God, that's right. I remember one time I was in Sonny Bono's pool house, and he'll throw names out, right? And he'll have this very bizarre experience that he had in Sonny Bono's pool house, or it was, Greta Garbo's motel room. Well, she wasn't there at the time, but anyway, he's always done that, and so he's added that into the character here, and I really appreciate it. But still fun show. We're finally starting to make some moves. We got to find out who this stunt person is, and this is going to give us a clue on who the murderer is, and why the character was actually murdered this time. So let's see that I've got half stuff here for Swanner and Judd, so I've got to pick through.
Right.
Okay, we're going to talk about that. Well, you're not watching Drag Race yet, right?
No, not yet.
Okay, well, they crowned a winner, and it ended up being Alyssa Edwards, which is just wonderful, because she has been trying to get a crown for a long time.
Yeah.
And I was really worried, because all through the series, she until last week, she hadn't won anything. She was always safe, and beating herself up. because, how can I just be safe all the time?
Yeah.
So anyway, so she finally won, and that was good. Of course, I found out Friday morning before I could watch the show because some asshole on uh, Facebook decided they were going to get up at the stroke of dawn and watch the show and spoil it for everybody. Fuckers.
Right. Yeah. Yep.
Let's see. On Survivor this week, they it was a major blindside. It was a major blindside by the person who was sure that they were not going to get any votes for themselves at all. And so it was so funny because normally Survivor, the producers will go, okay, it could be this person, it could be this person, or it could be this person. Well, they're all going, okay, we're all getting rid of Rome. Okay, we're all getting Rome. Okay, and we'll tell Rome that he needs to vote for so and so. Okay, and everyone's like, "Oh, I can't wait to get rid of Rome. Oh, we got to get rid of Rome." And they actually had kind of funky music playing, like a comedy music you'd hear behind the scene of a comedy. So it was, and I mean, I totally expected when he goes, the next person leaving is Rome, and they didn't have like a wah, wah, wah in the background, because that's the way they were playing it the whole time. It was like, yeah, they weren't even trying to make us think they were pulling something. So that was really fun. We're almost done with season 1 of Tracker. Still enjoying it. We just had the one where the kid was kidnapped because he had information on his professor, who was sucking up money but not getting the results that he was saying he was getting. So that was good. This week on Agatha, we had the
no, that's the mutual show. Do you have
okay. Let's see. Nobody wants this. That's the Kristen Bell show where she's dating the rabbi. We're almost at the end of the season, and he's asked, because the head rabbi, found out that he's dating, a non-Jew. So he's like going, so, the thing is, it's perfectly fine for you to date the blonde woman, but is she going to convert? Because it's really hard when the rabbi isn't dating a Jew to make the other men not, because you got to be the example. So now they're at the point of like, what's going to happen here? So it's really a funny, well-written show. On The Bachelorette this week, it was the hometowns. And remember, I was telling you there were the three guys that were obvious. Then the fourth guy, why is he here? Who is he? I don't even remember him on the show. Right. And of course, we go to the hometowns, and it's all uncomfortable. She's talking to grandkids, and she's talking to, his the men's kids who are in their 30s and 40s. And it was just, I hate the hometowns. I hate them so much.
Me too.
And then, you make a lot of promises, and then that at the end of the episode, you send somebody home. So she sent the guy home, who I had no idea who he was anyway. So no problem there. And let's see, still, if you have CNN or you have Max, you got to watch. I've got some news for you. All right, I've got news for you with this Roy Wood Jr., Amber Ruffin, and Ian Michael Black. Very funny show, well worth seeing. It's like an hour long, but 40 minutes if you're watching it on Max. And they just talk about it. It's a comedy, comedy fake news show, game show, where they're like talking about things that have happened over the week and just silly stuff. It's good. It's kind of like Last Week with John Oliver, but in a game show format. Let's see. Just started watching a new show on Max called Franchise, and this is about filming part 2 of some franchise tentpole kind of movie, kind of like if you're doing the Marvel stuff, but and it's just disastrous. Well, because everything that can go wrong is going wrong. They've got the producers coming in, the studio people coming in, telling that they need more of this, they need less of that. We've got this last episode was, we need a strong woman. Well, this is based on a comic book, and there is no strong woman. Well, we need to add a strong woman to it. So it's like, okay, we'll look for a strong woman. And then let's see. New episode came out from Arnie Tex on YouTube. He's a man of Mexican heritage. I'm not sure if he's Mexican or not, but I think he is. And he cooks just wonderful Mexican food. A lot of Tex-Mexy kind of Mexican food. He just made some ceviche this week. And he used halibut and shrimp. I just usually use shrimp when I'm making ceviche, so that was interesting. But it looked really good, and he fried up some tostadas, and it was cute. And then one other new show we started this week. It's Florida Man, and it is, how they have the shows where they have the real people talking, and then they have them acted out. I can't remember the term for that, but
like recreation. Or,
yes. And these are stories about weird things going on in Florida. Like the first one's about a guy
being elected,
a guy who wants he needs some money to go see a concert, but it's going to be expensive because it's in Colorado and he lives in Florida. So he goes to Craigslist and says, I'll do anything for money within reason. And so he gets this guy who says, I want you to cut off 3 of my toes, cook them and eat them, and I'll pay you $4,000 a toe.
Oh my God.
Yeah. But this is what happens in Florida. So, because anything goes in Florida.
Apparently. Ooh.
Yeah.
Everything goes down. Oh.
Yeah. So, and mutual shows. Well, there has not been any announcement yet for the renewal of English teacher, which I don't understand.
Yeah.
I'm confused. I'm really confused why it's not already, they haven't told us anything. This is wrong.
Right. So
we'll see what happens.
Yeah. It needs to be renewed because it is one of the best shows out there right now.
Yeah. And on Agatha, this was Patty LuPone origin story episode.
It was so good.
It was really a good episode.
It truly, I saw a lot of people being, like, oh, she deserves an award for this. This is like her, she was just so amazing. And I'm like, okay. And then I agree.
Yeah.
Great episode.
It was, and what I loved was the 4 characters that were in the episode were dressed up as 4 famous witches. Because it was the Wicked Witch of the West. Well, actually, Glinda. So she's still a witch. Yeah. The witch from Snow White and the witch from
Magnificent.
Maleficent from Sleeping Beauty. So. And I loved the makeup job they did on Catherine, the main character.
The green,
Agatha. Yeah, that was a beautiful green. I loved it.
Yeah.
Anyway, on the British Baking Show, it was obvious who was going home. I'm sorry, it was so obvious.
Yeah,
I know they tried to paint the black girl as possible being the one going home, but Andy just was failing the whole episode. And yeah, it just was like, okay.
And I thought they would end up sending her home because he was such a character. I thought that it would like just try to keep him on the show longer. But yeah. No, he needed to go.
Yeah. Well, yeah. And then we did not watch the Madlock new episode yet either. We watched, we were trying to catch up on Tracker, and we watched the new Elsbeth episode, which was really good too. You still got to watch it. You're going to love her.
I
You're
yeah.
and you're going to love the show. You're going to love it. And then the Halloween baking. No, this is the week we find out who wins, right?
I think so.
Yeah.
I think I'm one episode behind the new one that's gonna show us.
Okay. Yeah.
So, but
So
yeah, I'm fine with whoever. I mean, it's just a nice little group this time.
yeah, yeah, they did much better controlling Skunk Boy
Yes,
and getting the casting is better.
right.
Yeah.
Because it's about the bakes and the fun and the camaraderie. It's not about him
Right.
props.
Yeah.
Although I don't mind what they did this season, but when they tried to make it some big murder as whatever.
Now
Yeah.
you don't watch Ghosts, do you?
No.
It's real.
Not that I'm opposed, but it's just not I haven't done it.
Yeah, I think you'd like it too. So
Yeah.
I know I can't believe I'm watching this much CBS.
I know, right? When they came out with like the Paramount CVS, whatever, I'm just like, whatever. I'm not gonna, but then they did the Star Trek and sucked me in, and now I'm like going, oh wow, I actually watch a lot of CBS shows.
I just wish the Showtime shows were better.
Yeah.
I'm not.
Yeah.
I used to. I mean, Showtime used to be is. I used to watch that as much as I watched HBO, and now it's like the Yellow Jacket thing never really worked for
No.
me, and I don't know.
No, they're
So
kind of they seem to be kind of that channel that like, it's 3 a.m. You still have cable, you don't know what to watch. So you just put on Showtime and just watch schlocky movies all night.
yeah, yeah.
Anyway, okay.
Okay.
Well, so starting out, I was in Winco, and this question has been circling around my head. So they have the Count Chocula and the Frankenberry and that
Yeah,
other mummy one. And I've known, of course, we've had that since well, I was a kid anyway. Um, so now they have a Camilla Creeper because it when you said, oh, we have to have a woman monster or whatever, that kind of or hero, that sparked my attention. They have this cereal now that is a female one, and it's called Carmela Creeper. And our question was, the hell is a creeper? Like, what's her character? Like, where's she come from? Well, here's the scoop in case you're just curious. So Carmela Creeper is the first female monster cereal mascot in the history of General Mills and the cereal industry. And she is a zombie DJ and Frankenberry's cousin who hosts parties at her haunted mansion. And she eats cereal that is light green and tastes like caramel apple. And so, yeah, I definitely won't be buying that cereal. But anyway, that's kind of cool. But her character
is
is
it
very teeny bopper looking, and but green.
great?
Yeah.
Okay.
I'll take the Frankenberry or the Count Chocula before that. But anyway, very cool. So I got to see Venom: The Last Dance in the theater. So Venom, this one is the third in the Venom trilogy. And as we were talking about before the show, the first one was pretty good. The second one was kind of disappointing. And this one is fucking awesome. Well, hello there. Ooh, somebody got a little kiss. Anyway, so this is the best of them, and frankly, as long as you know like the gist of what the Venom kind of, that it's a symbiote that came to Earth and gotten this guy and saved him and blah blah blah, you're good. You don't even need to really watch the others. This was a great movie. It's fast paced. The humor is still there. Tom Hardy actually took part in writing it. Um, and it's funny, it's poignant, it has emotional moments, it has great characters, and the action is just kind of nonstop. So it's very fun if you like the Venom stuff, or even if you're just kind of, curious, go see it in the theater. see it on the big screen. It made it that much more enjoyable. But if you're somebody that usually sticks around for the little vignettes at the end, ain't worth it. Google it at home. We had to pee so bad and we stayed for the whole thing. And at the end, we were like, really? We could have been home by now with these credits. But yeah. Continuing Halloween watching, I watched Bell, Book and Candle, which is like 1958 or something. It was one of the movies that the that Bewitched was actually based on. Only in this one, well, if you're gonna watch it, I don't want to give you spoilers, but it's like, 70 years old or something like that. Um, it basically it's about a witch who falls in love with this man who is a human and goes through the whole thing and basically
Witches
how
are
he
humans
treats her.
too.
Well, and that's the thing. Okay, the reason that I said that was because it's true. Even in the movie, it's true, but they were classifying themselves different as humans, and the auntie was like, why do you want to fall in love with the human anyway? That sounds awful. So I don't know it. Yeah. So I don't want to give away too much in case anyone wants to watch it, but
Then don't.
it's it's fun, but movies of that time. All right, I'm still watching Two's Company with Elaine Stritch. It's 1975 British comedy about where she's an American. She moves to Britain. She hires a butler who is way oversteps, and well, it's just good fun. Badly written, but still funny as hell.
Does she
Um,
sing?
no, but she does some tap dancing.
Okay.
But it's kind of funny because when you're watching her on the show in 1975, you're like, was the woman ever young? Like, how did she make it so long? I mean, but she was just amazing.
Well, look at Irene Ryan, a
Uh-uh.
granny on the Beverly Hills
Oh
Hillbillies.
yeah, yeah, yeah.
She was she was she was probably in her 40s when she did that.
Ugh,
So
that's true.
Elaine Stritch had just won. She'd already won the Tony for Company in 1970. So
Mhm.
yeah, she was a big star when she did this. A big
Yeah,
Broadway star, at least.
yeah. Yeah, it reminds me of Waiting for God, where Stephanie Cole was playing a woman that was like about 70, and yet she was actually like 46 in it.
Well,
Yeah.
this is what I always say. In Sunset Boulevard, um, the main character is in her 50s,
Yeah.
but they make it sound like she's 80 years old. Norma
That's
Desmond,
yeah.
because Norma Desmond was a silent film star in the 20s.
Hmm.
Okay, so and she was a teenager, or very young. So 30 years later, when Sunset Boulevard took place in 1950, she would have only been, she might not even been in her 50s. But of
Yeah.
course, in Hollywood, a woman who's over 40 might as well be in her 80s, so.
Exactly. Exactly. And it's funny because I pointed that out to people actually not too long ago, and their whole thing was, oh, well, it wasn't her age, it was that she was a silent film star trying to restart her career. And I'm like, you're not watching it right then, because it was so about her age. Anyway, so continuing with Halloween stuff, I watched Casper, and I had to skip through some of the ghost parts. I think they did so it's like watching two different films because they did so good with like the interaction with Christina Ricci and the rest of the stuff, and then they have the three asshole ghosts, the uncles who are like, and I'm just like every time they come on screen, I'm just like, really? Did he? This is just like crap. Why did they do it that way? Yeah. Okay. Is that bat signaling, or if you're watching the video, Tom is.
No, that was um oh,
Yeah.
Frenchie did that with her glasses in Greece.
Oh, did she?
Yeah.
I'll have to watch that. Actually, I kind of want to watch that again, so I'll look for that. And then of course, continuing The Good Witch, I'm finally on season 7 and still enjoying it. This is probably the sixth, seventh time that I've watched it all the way through. And I love that in the seventh season they have a open lesbian character. They are much more open about being witches. There's just a lot of fun, and I really wish that they would bring it back even for another movie or two or something. Anyway, Matinee Minutia. The If you are a listener of that, we just finished wrapping up recording for Bed Knobs and Broomsticks. Such a fun show. And I didn't get to the Penguin or Happy's Place or anything like that. I had kind of some busy stuff going on for
Were,
work this
were
week.
you in the age of not believing?
For what?
Well, that's the song from Bedknobs and Broomsticks.
Wow, that sucks because now I don't remember that song.
Oh my God, it's the song she sings to the kids. Oh, you're sad. You're
Yeah,
very
that
sad.
is sad because
It was
I'm like I
nominated for
just watched it
it was
last week.
nominated for Best Song of the Year at the Oscars.
I am gonna be YouTubing that and watching it again because I need my memory refreshed. But
But
yeah, the whole
my favorite was Pete's Dragon and Candle on the Water. That was my favorite.
oh, I don't think I've ever watched Pete's Dragon all the way through.
Oh my God, you just suck.
I didn't get to watch a lot of those Disney films,
Okay,
and I didn't go back and watch
that's no
them.
big deal. They're available right now.
Exactly. And
So
so there's still a couple others that I've been meaning to watch. I'll get there eventually.
actually, the Pete's Dragon live action was really, really good too.
Oh, was it?
Yeah, it was really good. I was really happy with it.
Oh,
Totally different because the Pete's Dragon was kind of goofy.
yeah.
Yeah, but and this was really serious, but it was it was trying to save this dragon from being exposed because once they're exposed, then they'll be either hunted down and put in
Yeah.
circuses or just hunted down. So it took a whole different feel to it.
Yeah.
And there were a lot of good 70s Disney's. Candle Shoe was good with Jodie Foster and when did Something Wicked This Way come? Was that 70s or was that early 80s? But that was good too. So
I don't
they
know.
they they were trying back at that time period.
Yeah,
They really were.
we were just talking about Return to Witch Mountain and then Escape from Witch Mountain or Escape, yeah. Those two.
Escape 2.
Yeah, and I remember them so fondly as a kid. I mean, I was like obsessed with the whole, like, and shit as a kid. But when I watched them when I was older, I was like, oh my God, this is like a slog to try to get through,
Yeah,
especially the second one.
they're a little bit harder because they were I mean, there was a time period where they made movies for kids
Hmm.
that didn't have to be particularly for adults too. Now they've got to walk that fine line. If you don't have a movie that's good for adults and kids,
Hmm.
like a Toy Story, if you don't have those kind of things, you will suffer.
Yeah. Yeah. That's so true. What was the movie that they I think there were three of them that they came out recently. Like it was Training Your Dragon.
Oh, How to Train Your Dragon?
Yeah,
Yeah,
those were good.
yeah, they were
Those
really
were
good.
good little films.
Yeah, especially considering they weren't Disney or Pixar,
Right. Oh,
which
huh.
is, yeah, because they were, well, actually now they are because Disney bought.
Well, that makes sense. But yeah, no, I didn't realize they weren't, but they were good films. All right, let's jump into advice.
Mhm.
I am a 22-year-old woman living with my ex-girlfriend, now a close friend.
You wish.
An ex-girlfriend? No, no, too much drama. Uh,
Yeah.
I was inspired to start a weight loss journey after attending a race with my dad, and I realized how much better my life could be if I lost weight. I bought low carb groceries and made it clear to my roommate Mariah that my diet food was off limits even for my daughter. Mariah is naturally thin and doesn't need to lose weight, while I weigh 320 pounds and am working hard to get healthy by tracking macros and walking 10,000 plus steps a daily. Today, after a gym session, I bought wings for dinner and gave one to my daughter since she hadn't eaten much. I told Mariah my food was strictly for my weight loss journey and would shop separately for my daughter. Mariah got upset, saying it was unfair that I wasn't sharing food with them. Am I wrong for setting these boundaries to focus on my health?
No.
Nope, absolutely
Well,
not.
and you got to remember, Mariah's coming across as a chubby chaser.
That's, oh yeah, that's probably true, huh?
Well, I mean, if she's naturally thin
Yeah.
and she's dating a woman who's 320 pounds, she probably
Yeah,
was attracted to women of size.
that's true. That's probably true.
And then, and as far as sharing her food, that's just dumb.
Yeah, I
I,
don't
I
really get that.
yeah,
Yeah, like why she would be upset with that unless it's some sort of control issue.
a control issue, or she doesn't have enough money to buy her own groceries. I don't know.
Well, yeah, I mean that would be different. And actually, in the original version of this, I think it got cut out that her father actually paid for most of the groceries. So anyway, I don't know if that's anything that matters. Okay, so, hey, Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, have you ever been in love with more than one person at the same time?
No,
Uh, no.
I can't do it.
Yeah. No for me. I mean, when I did end up having whatever feelings I had for somebody, it was very hyper focused, I think.
Yeah,
Yeah. Um, Hey Chubbs, Timothy wants to know, do you think Princess Diana's death was an accident?
I do think it was an accident, but it was an accident that was caused by the paparazzi chasing them. They were. I feel that they were just they were trying to get away from the paparazzi, and that gave them the speed and
Hmm.
the problem with the whole car crash.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah, I as much as I know some people want to believe in the conspiracy theories, I don't I think it was an accident, but it was avoidable. Absolutely. And
Absolutely
the
avoidable.
paparazzi should be held responsible for that. All right, hey Tubbs, Timothy wants to know, do you believe in homeopathy? No, I'm kidding. And now that I said it that way, I won't be able to say it the right
Homeopathy
way. Thank
or
you. Or
alternative
alternative
medicine.
medicine. Yes.
Absolutely.
Yeah.
Absolutely. Yeah. Yeah.
Yeah.
There I think there's plenty of stuff that, I mean, sure, there's things that aren't going to work, but
Hmm.
there are things. I mean, women have been doing this for years,
Yeah.
as far as I mean, like, you go back hundreds of years and they've been doing stuff that, I mean, like when just simple things, like if your nipples are engorged and you put like cloths on them. You don't need pills, you just need to take care of things. And I mean, if you have a toothache, you
Mhm.
don't you can get some whiskey and put that on the toothache
Oh, I
to,
have done that before.
yeah. But that, I
Yeah.
mean, there's this kind of stuff.
Mint
On
settles the stomach.
Yeah, and I don't think that, I mean, I would worry with if people are trying to do this with like severe illnesses.
Yeah.
But sometimes I think there's legitimate shit out there that people aren't aware
Right.
of.
Well, and because, the whole modern medicine and pills and everything, it all derived from something that would be considered homeopathic,
Homeopathic.
Yeah, absolutely. But I also know that there's a point where you just need to go to the doctor,
Sure.
you know.
Yeah, I would not say that that was the end all.
Yeah,
So
yeah. Great questions. Okay, so we're adding a new little segment here that is called I Remember, and it can be holidays, ages, events, different things like that. And so this one is I remember when I was 10. So I know Tom probably wants a minute to think about that. So for me, when I was 10, it was a very big transitional time for me. And the things I remember from that, I remember we were moving from Roseville, from the farmhouse that I'd lived in all my life at that point, up to Colfax, into the frickin' back hills, into another weird house with some family friends, and we all lived together in a little commune thing there. And yeah, and I remember my 10th birthday party on a rainy day, and I was the only one home. It was the first time that I was like left alone after school to myself to get ready. And so I went up and I took a bath by myself, and I dressed in uh, clothes that I picked, and I walked across the street where the few little friends that I had at that point were giving me a birthday party, and they gave me a green shirt with a horse on the front because, kid lived on a ranch. Of course, I'm going to be into horses. And that's what I remember from when I was 10. How about you?
that's all you remember?
Oh, I mean, there's a lot of other stuff, but I
Okay,
don't want
so
to take up a whole.
well, what I remember at 10 was I was sleeping over at a friend's house,
Hmm.
and I'm pretty sure I've told you the story before, but um he said at one point he said, "So uh do you wear underwear underneath your pajamas? Because if you don't, I'll turn my head when you change."
Oh, okay.
And I thought, no, no, I wear underwear.
Mhm.
And then I'm like, why would you want to look? Wait, why? Wait,
Uh,
and that was the first time I actually thought maybe I do want to look.
hmm.
So that was fifth grade, and I remember that very well. All of a sudden, after that, it was like I looked at boys differently
Ah,
because
that
I
was your
mean
moment.
that
Yeah.
was my moment. Now I remember thinking earlier on, thinking men were attractive in my head,
Mm.
but normally it was like, I want to be their friend. I want to be,
Yes.
I wish my dad looked like that, or,
Mm.
you know, he lived in my neighborhood. And
Yeah. That whole period where it wasn't a sexual thing, it was just like this thing that you wanted to be around it, or
yeah, you were
yeah.
curious, but you didn't know why.
Right, exactly. Yeah. Well,
Yeah.
good times. Anyway, okay, that's cool. Those were good memories. And then what's in your lunchbox? Mr. Moose wrote in, and he
Let me
said,
get up to one. Okay, here's one. Oh, he bought chocolate cake. Is it what, like devil's food?
I went to a grocery store hungry, saw a whole chocolate cake, and couldn't resist. Here's the first slice, was good. That's all
Mm,
I wrote.
yeah.
It looks really good. And I'm not a chocolate on chocolate cake person, but I have seen some cakes before that I would be like, you know what? Give me a glass of milk or some ice cream. I could do
Yeah,
it.
yeah. My cake my go-to cake was always, I did a devil's food
Mm.
with chocolate frosting, and it was always so good, so
Yeah,
good.
that sounds pretty good.
Yeah.
Um, Drink. Okay, so drink at the bar, Rosemary's Baby, a gin and Aperol cocktail. Okay, I'm not really a gin person, but I would give it a try. Another dip sandwich. This
Yay.
Italian beef sandwich with pickled vegetables, slow roasted beef that was super tender, side of house-made chips. House-made chips.
Well, that's a flowing sandwich for a dip. Usually they're a little more compact. That must have been interesting to eat.
Yeah. Yeah, I would give it a try though.
Yeah.
The cauliflower on the
Well,
sandwich is.
well, you could if you could pick the pickled stuff out if you wanted to.
That's true.
But you know, a lot of people really like that pickliness in to break up, especially when you've got the au jus, because
Yeah,
that it
something a little acidy.
yeah, well it just kind of gets everything the same, and then you throw in the pickled stuff to kind of brighten it up, change it up a little bit.
Baked mac and cheese. Okay.
Yeah, no, it looks good.
Yeah.
I'm not a big mac and cheese fan. I don't know why, but
I have trouble finding anyone that can do it right.
Well, that's true. I don't like dry mac and cheese.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And then French dip sandwich for dinner, pretty good. So there's a second.
Yeah.
Yeah, there it is.
So it's just
now that one.
That's just meat and cheese.
Yeah.
Meat and cheese. Yeah.
Yep, and that beautiful little dip. Thank you, Mr. Moose, for sending those in.
God, I've been wanting French dip. French dip. I want it so bad now.
And you can check out those photos by going over to our Facebook group, facebook.com/ChubsGoneWild. And those photos are already posted over there. All right. Well, send us what's in your lunchbox at chubsgonewild@gmail.com. You can also send I remember questions, hey Chubs questions, advice questions, or just, comment on anything that we're yakking about. And find Tom's other podcast at swanerandjudd.com. Find my books and other projects at justkisstheguy.com. Find all of our links at allmylinks.com/chubsgonewild. And of course, you can always give us a call at
408-69-Chubs.
Yes, Queen. Well, that's another one in the bag. And when we get back in a week, you're not leaving yet.
No.
Okay. So when we get back in a week, I will be another year older, but still just as pretty. It's true.
Yeah. Oh, that's definitely true. You're just as pretty as you ever were.
That's true. I don't know if that's a good thing or a bad thing, but we'll leave it at that. All right. We will catch you next week. Bye.
Bye.
A network of inclusion.
UnivazPods.net.
This show is part of the Pride 48 network.
This has been a For Fuck's Sake production.